So I probably need to go into how I was really feeling, like what more in depth of, like, I don't know, it's not really symptoms, but more in depth of what was going on, what I was feeling. So I'll just do the like digestive, stomach, that kind of stuff. And bear with me, it might be gross. I'll try not to be graphic about any of this stuff, but I want to be as detailed as I can be, as much as I can remember. I mean, it was like second nature most of the time. Like, I was so used to it that I have to really think about what it was like. And it's been like a year now since I've even had any of these symptoms, and they went away. And it was like if you can imagine just like clenching your teeth and your muscles really tight and being like that 24/7 all the time, and then like how it feels when a cramp finally goes away, or I don't know, like when you have a tooth pulled that you had this constant toothache for a long time, and it finally gets relief. Like, whatever you're going through at that point is much less than what you're going through. It's different, but it's less, and it just tapers away and finally heals. That's it. That's probably the best thing. So I had like, it was like constant cramping and churning in my stomach all the time, and it didn't matter what I ate at all. Like, there was one time my wife and I were hanging out, and I drank a bottle of water, like one of those really small like bottle of water. I was drinking it, and I could feel it go in as I was drinking. It was cold, and it would go in and come through, and like I could feel it going through my intestines, and it came out that fast. Like, it was like I was turning green, and it was, the feelings were like I'd eat something, and I would have to do like a quick internal check. I got really used to doing this, just a quick internal check. I would eat something, and I'd feel it go through my system real quick, and I'd be like, kind of like a gut check. Am I feeling that? Okay, can I leave the house? Yeah, I think I can manage this. And I would go out, but I had to be near a bathroom all the time. Like, we regulated our lives. I regulated my life on where's the closest bathroom, which one, the route home, or in school. I'd watch the bathroom door. I'd watch, like, because I never knew when it was going to hit, and it didn't matter what I was eating or drinking or whatever, it was going to happen. It didn't happen on an empty stomach, obviously, but it would happen all the time. And it was amazing to me that I actually was able to gain any weight, because I don't know how I was keeping any nutrients in, because it was coming through me so fast. Like, it was gross. Like, it was almost like, it was like a funnel poured in the top of the funnel. It would just come right straight out the back. And I had like the worst gas, like the worst. Like, I was constantly bloated, constantly in pain. And I was so used to it that I didn't notice it. And the times that it was really bad that I did notice it, like, it was bad. Like, I used to make a joke, like, peeing out my butt, which is kind of gross, but it was either that, or I would say something like, I could crap through a screen door and not hit any metal. Like, it was just water, straight water. And my body was just trying to expel it at any cost. Like, it was poison, and it wanted it gone now. And that was the state I lived in basically from the day I was born until roughly a year ago, a little over a year ago. And yeah, all the time, every day. Like, it didn't seem to matter what I ate, what diet I went on, if I tried something different. And there were certain foods I noticed that triggered it more. I would be like, oh, I better not eat that. And as I got older, it seemed like the more spicier foods kind of did it. The more richer foods kind of did it. At one time, I thought it was like oils, or, I don't know. I tried, like, don't, like, a lactose intolerant thing. Thought maybe that was it, and stayed away from like anything with milk in it. And that didn't seem to help. but the symptoms always changed. It was like not less aggressive or less violent, but different. And the smells were horrible. Like I always had to fart, and I was really good at holding it in. Like my internal muscles and my bowel stuff. Like I get really good at, like, I can hold one in there. I can hold it in for a long time. I can hold stuff from coming out for a long, long time. And I had to, just for survival. And it was like panicky. Like, I didn't really want to go out and do anything, but I needed to go do it anyway. I wasn't going to let it like stop me from going and doing something, but there was always that thought in the front of my mind. It was always a constant thought. Can I leave the house? Because I have to go to school, or I have to go, gotta go to work. I have to go do this. Okay, so like I said, where's this bathroom? What's the quickest route there? And how many bathrooms are on the way there? And who's got, like, the most private bathrooms? Because I'm going to stink it up. Like, it's going to be bad. If I happen to eat something or whatever and it hits me real quick, like, it was going to be bad. I really don't know how to describe the symptoms. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, if you've been in these symptoms, like, I've seen, like, them describe it in, like, Crohn's disease commercials or whatever, and that's kind of it. But if you've ever had, like, a panicky feeling like this, you'll know what I'm talking about. I can't, like, one word's not going to describe it, and I could probably just tell stories and that might describe it better. But there's so many of them for the last 45 years. I don't know which one to pick. It was like any meal, anytime I drank anything, anytime I ate anything, it was going to happen. And my buddy, this couple summers ago, I was back hanging out with, like, one of my best friends I grew up with, and we're hanging out in the shop and we're messing with some old cars, and he makes this comment. He's like, you haven't farted at all this entire time. He's like, I was like, no, I feel really good. I don't have to do any of that stuff anymore. He's like, you had the stinkiest ass of anybody I'd ever known. We just laughed about that. And I never really thought about how, like, obviously you fart and other people are going to smell it. There's jokes about it all the time. But I never really thought about how, like, it really, like, other people really thought about it. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I was so aware of it and consumed with it because it ruled my life. I never thought about it really affecting anybody else's life. And that sounds like a selfish thing to say, but I figured, rip one off and the smell goes away eventually, and, like, they're over it. But, after 40 some years of being somebody's friend, or even 20 years being with my wife, or, my parents. My mom even made a comment one time. We were visiting, this is several years ago, visiting back home, and my mom's like, yep, my son's home. I opened the door and I knew my son was home. And I should have been really embarrassed, but I just was so used to it that I didn't, it was like in one ear and out the other. But now that I think about it, I think about, the absence of dealing with it. I mean, it was permeating. It's about the only word I could think of. And how come it didn't stick to my clothes when I walked around everywhere? I don't know. Maybe it did. And maybe just society is a whole lot nicer than I give them credit for. But like I said, if this is you, or this sounds like anybody you know, or you can relate, or you have any comments that can describe this better, I would, it'd be great to be able to put this into words and be more eloquent about it, but I'm just not. But if you have any questions and you're like, hey, this is going on with me, and does this sound like something you had going on? Chances are I'm going to be like, yes. And your description is going to make sense to me, and I can maybe add to it, and we can together find, like, a commonality in it, and you'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I recognize this route you're running, and ultimately you can get some relief and some help, because I did. Like, I'm not joking. I don't deal with this at all unless I get what I call dosed, which is I'm not paying attention to an ingredient or something. Like, I don't know, a couple months ago I was with my parents and we're at the beach hanging out, and we get done and my dad hands me like, some Maui onion potato chips. I'm thinking they're potato chips with like onion flavoring. I didn't read the ingredients because, I was playing it kind of fast and loose, and I reached in and started eating a handful of potato chips, and I'm like, oh, I'm still kind of hungry, and my dad's like, oh, we got this organic deli ham over here, we got ham we got from Costco, and I'm like, at the time I was in my I took like an 8-week time. If I sidetrack, I don't eat meat and I don't eat like animal products as a rule, not because of anything society says, but because of I just feel so much better if I just avoid it and stay away from it. And I'll get into diet stuff in later videos for sure, but I had been off of it for at least a year, and I decided I'm going to try it. So I did like 8 weeks of just adding in animal products, meat, didn't do dairy though, and beef, because I am allergic to actual beef, and I know that cow dairy doesn't work very good. But I was doing like sheep or goat and stuff, and I'd eat some chicken, and my allergy test came back this last time as pork wasn't on it anymore. So I threw in a few things of pork just to see what that was like, and so during that time I was eating ham. Back to the story. I don't want to ADD out, like it's pretty common for me, but so I'm eating ham, like small piece of this deli ham. There's no package that came in. My mom said, oh, it's from Costco. It's in the organic section there, and it's just like something else. So I tried it, and I'm eating it, and I felt like my throat like closing up a little bit, and I was like, oh, I know what that reaction is, and I popped the Benadryl real quick. In fact, I popped 2, but like a dummy. I'm an idiot. Like a dummy, I kept eating the potato chips and eating the ham. And, I figured out I took a Benadryl. If there was something in there, I'm good. My body's been fine for a year. I'm not going to have any troubles in it. I've been eating ham and, some meat for the last couple of weeks, so hasn't been any side effects. I'm fine. I wasn't fine. Like, not at all. I got home and it wasn't like my intestines were really sick. No, it wasn't like that at all. It was, I took 3 days off work because it leveled me. Like, leveled me. I woke up and I was like, oh, I feel like I got the flu. Like, I feel real nauseous and I got a bad headache and I'm feeling dizzy and all my joints ache. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to take it to work and get anybody sick. And I don't like taking time off work at all. Like, I'd rather die than, I'd rather go to work. Even if I was dead, I'd go to work. But society now, and with the job I'm in, and the people I'm around, and my wife has convinced me that it's kind of rude when you go to work if you're sick, because the chances are you'll get somebody else sick. And I'd never really thought about that. I just thought about being irresponsible, not going to work. So I took the high road and stayed in bed, and I was sick, really sick. I slept and slept and slept, and the next morning I woke up and I was in so much pain. My fingernails and toenails hurt. My hair follicles ached. Like, I wasn't dizzy anymore, and I wasn't like upset in my stomach. I actually didn't have any diarrhea, and I didn't throw up or anything, although I felt like I needed to, but I was still dizzy, and my like the tips of my fingers hurt, but my toenails and my fingernails hurt. It was the weirdest thing. And I was like, oh, I go to get up, and I'm like, oh no, I don't have any energy. Like, I was just locked up. I felt like I was walking through like oatmeal. I was like in quicksand. And so I just stayed back on the couch and relaxed again for another day. And I woke up the next morning and my head was more clear, and I was like, all right, I hadn't really eaten anything the last days, but I was drinking, like water and green tea and stuff like that, and kombucha. I was trying to combat it, and I was taking my digestive enzymes that I have to take. And I get up and I go to put on my boots, and I got my pants on, I put my boots on, I go to stand up, and I almost fell over. Like, my joints literally locked up. I couldn't really take much of a step, and I made like 4 or 5 steps. I struggled to get into like the living room. My wife's like, "Nope, you're going back down." And I went back down and laid down on the couch. Like, she helped me back down on the couch, and like I think I just slept and I couldn't move. But the next morning I woke up, I felt like $1,000,000. It was the weirdest thing, but yeah, I'm a dummy. Like, I was playing with fire, and that was not the smart move. Where's the bright point in this? The high point is, if you're feeling the way I used to feel, or you have any of these things the doctors have told you have Crohn's, or you have IBS, or you have, leaky gut, or any of these things that they've like diagnosed me with for years, or it's just bad indigestion, or you're eating some bad shellfish or whatever. If you've been going through this and it just doesn't seem to ring true and it's not quite fitting in, I mean, some of the symptoms are real similar and you're trying this stuff out, but you're still having these internal feelings, I'm telling you, you can get help. You can. And take it from me, once they tell you what you're allergic to and what you're supposed to stay away from, don't cheat on it. Don't do it. Because your body at this point, like mine was for the last 45 years, was conditioned to a level of terribleness. And once it healed and it got used to, now it's conditioned to not deal with this. When it does encounter this poison or whatever is going on that you shouldn't have in your body, that this bear on your back that like comes back and takes a swipe at you, it's gonna be like, you're gonna be like, Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie The Revenant, where that bear just beats the crap out of him. Like, that's literally what's gonna happen, because it is lethal to you, but you don't know it's there. You lived with it. It was your roommate for years, and now it's kicked out and you're bringing it back. Like, that's really dumb. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb like me. Get some help. I'll see you guys on the next video. We'll talk about probably like more of the respiratory allergy stuff, and we'll move on from there. But thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.